Lopez is back, Nate. Whew, this was a good. Let me tell you something about this fight. This was one sided and it wasn't even close. Okay, and I could have not been any more wrong in my prediction than right here. Okay, Vasyl Lomachenko defeated Masayoshi Nakatani by ninth round TKO. Let me tell you something about this, Nate. Let me tell you something about this fight. All right, this is probably, I'm gonna be real with you, the the best I think I've ever seen Lomachenko look easily. We're talking. This man was so aggressive. It was not even funny. Like we're talking about a guy from 1 to 9 did not let up. And like we talked about, we talked about how Lomachenko likes to knock out people late, and he did that here too. But overall, Nate, he was controlling this fight the entire time. Nakatani could not do anything against this man. And in the first round, there was like an accidental headbutt. So Lomachenko, he had like a cut on his forehead. But other than that, he basically suffered no damage. If it wasn't for that headbutt, Nate, he would have suffered no damage. Okay. I'm going to get to the stats real quick on the two fighters. So Lomachenko, he landed 104 out of 214, which, get this, Nate, is a fantastic percentage of 48.6%. You don't see that a lot in boxing. Usually it's between like around like 30 to 35 for like the winner, or like 40 or like 42 probably at like on a good day. 48 is ridiculous. Now, ready? You want to hear Nakatani's? This shocks me, Nate. Ready? 29 out of 250. That's a percentage of 11.6. I don't know what else you want me to say, Nate. I do not know what else you want me to say. Seriously. Like, this is ridiculous. It's there. It is. He threw more punches in the sixth round than Nakatani landed altogether. Nakatani could not find a way to be. And the one thing about Lomachenko, right? Here's the one thing in this fight that I really think helped him out. Angles. Those he was his angles, the way, now I'm not talking about his punching angles, the way he was able to, how many times he moved around Nakatani, it surprises me. The fact that he was in front of him and then all of a sudden he's on his left side and punching him in the face, that shocked me right there. Nakatani would grab him, literally Lomachenko was slipping under the grab and getting go out of it. He was cutting angles on Nakatani just by moving. His footwork was ridiculous, and we all knew it because the whole story about Lomachenko, the famous story is his father made him take Ukrainian dancing before he boxed. So they say that's the reason why his footwork is the way it is, and I completely agree. But let me tell you something, Nate. This man was literally moving around Nakatani. Nakatani grabbed him. He went under the damn grab, and he was finding ways to get behind him on a grab. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous what Lomachenko does. It is absolutely ridiculous, and as far as I know, because Teofimo Lopez Sr., he was at the fight watching it. After the fight, he went up to Bob Arum, shook his hand, and he said that is the next fight to make. He said I will convince my son to give Lomachenko a rematch. So we'll see how that works. But I do believe a rematch is well deserved, Nate. I do, because that fight was way too close to the first fight. And I think we do need to see a second fight between those two. And look, I mean, if Teofimo Lopez is the champion that he says he is, then I don't think he would have a problem giving him this fight, but it's got to be after the Kambosos fight for Teofimo. But overall, Nate, Lomachenko proved why he deserves a rematch. He's coming back for those belts. And he put himself right back in the conversation for the best lightweights in the fight business. Now, a lot of people could say, well, he was already one of the best, and I agree. But I think he really needed this win right here to, kind of prove it. But let me tell you something. Nakatani had no luck. He had no luck. And I thought, and it got to the point, Nate, where Nakatani, like, we knew that. I talked about it with fighters who had long reach. I said, if the shorter fighter gets inside of them, it becomes really dangerous for them. And Nakatani's a good fighter inside, which is why I thought Nakatani was going to win this fight, not only because of the reach, which Lomachenko has admitted that he had problems with against Teofimo, but he's also a good fighter inside for somebody with such a long reach. And the fact that Lomachenko was able to control every aspect of that fight, from long distance to short distance, to cutting his angles, to one that, like, it was ridiculous. Like, you could not stop Lomachenko that night. You couldn't. If you were Nakatani, there was no way of stopping Lomachenko. He ended up knocking him down in the fifth round. And overall, Nate, it was a good knockdown. I mean, when I really look at it, I look at the knockdown, and personally, when I look at it, it was a very good knockdown, you know. And credit to Nakatani, he got back up. But let me tell you something, Nate. This was not an easy fight at all for Nakatani. He just, to be honest with you, Nate, he couldn't find a way out of it. He couldn't. He could not find a way to beat Lomachenko. He couldn't find any openings. He couldn't land any punches really on him. 29 punches in the whole fight. Like, that's not going to cut it, Nate. But let me tell you something. Lomachenko's back, Nate. And if I'm Teofimo Lopez, I'm being aware of that, you know. And after this Kambosos fight, I'm accepting that Lomachenko fight, and it's going right back to the gym. But overall, we're here to talk about Lomachenko. Lomachenko, there's only one fighter left for him to face, and that's Teofimo Lopez. You know, he could go to fight Devin Haney. He could fight Ryan Garcia. Javante Davis is not. But before you fight all those guys, get to Teofimo. It's as simple as that. And this was a guy that Teofimo was having trouble with, you know. And we don't know if Teofimo was having a bad day that day. We're not sure. But overall, Lomachenko made the guy who gave Teofimo hard work. Lomachenko made it look easy. Simple as that, you know. But again, you still have that loss on your record to Teofimo Lopez, so you got to get that back, you know. So overall, I think the next fight that should be happening after the Kambosos fight is Teofimo Lopez versus Vasyl Lomachenko. But overall, Nate, you know, to Vasyl Lomachenko, I mean, congratulations on a big bounce back win. As for Nakatani, you know, it's back to the drawing board. This was a very, very bad fight for him. He couldn't land nothing. He couldn't gain any momentum, and Lomachenko was able to capitalize. So with that being said, congratulations to Lomachenko, and I'll pass it on to you, Nate.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to Lomachenko. And as for Nakatani, like you said, it's back to the drawing board. Unlike the other fight, Mario, this fight actually had me entertained. They wasted no time going at each other. I remember
Well, I
I
mean,
mentioned the last fight. It was like the first half of it was just them moving around and throwing a couple of punches. This fight, they wasted no time,
well,
man.
one person wasted no time. That's Lomachenko. He just decided to go dominate him for like
Well,
nine
yeah,
rounds.
of course, and that's the part that got me entertained. Is like I like it when people waste no time. You feel me? I like just like
Yeah,
that Rangers and Capitals fight. They as soon
yeah.
as the puck
Different
went
fight,
out, these
different
guys
pace.
just started fighting each other.
Yeah,
But
different fight, different pace.
yeah, yeah. But um, when I look at Nakatani in this fight, Mario, everything that could have went wrong for him did. His offense wasn't there. His defense wasn't there. He couldn't find an open hole. Like he just could not counter Lomachenko. And I gotta give him credit though. He lasted like he definitely did last longer than he should have. Like if you're not locked in like that and you're facing a guy who's more than locked in, like Lomachenko was the other night, he shouldn't have even lasted 2 rounds. But he did. So I gotta give him a lot of credit for that. But I look at Lomachenko and I'm gonna be honest. I felt like this was gonna be a close fight too. We talked about both fights on Saturday evening were gonna be very very close, but
Oh,
this one was just a blowout to the other.
we thought Nakatani was gonna win.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought this was like I thought after that Teofimo Lopez fight, I thought this was gonna be the absolute downfall of Lomachenko. I was
Yeah,
clearly wrong. Lomachenko said, "Shut your mouth and watch me beat this dude for 9 rounds."
yeah, absolutely. Um, it's a really surprises me how Nakatani only had 29 punches thrown in the entire fight, like or landed rather in this entire fight. Like that's just I'm sorry, but like you said, that's not gonna cut it. Lomachenko had a total of 104 punches, total punches landed in this fight. Like that's just ridiculous. Like that is absolutely insane. I think what went wrong for Nakatani, which first of all, like I mentioned, what could have went wrong did, and the fact that he just did not have a counter for anything. He didn't. He just did not have a counter for one single thing. He couldn't find that open hole. He couldn't find an open advantage. He couldn't do anything. So as for Lomachenko, Mario, again, he did a really amazing job. He did everything correctly in this fight. And I do really want to see Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko again.
Agreed.
That's definitely a fight I want to see again. Maybe the outcome will be a lot different. Who knows? But we don't know what's going to happen with that yet. Hopefully, it does happen. Um, as for Nakatani, Mario, again, it's back to the drawing board. This was a very horrific fight for him. I mean, hopefully, he doesn't have to suffer a loss like this again. So with that being said, best of luck to both fighters. This was a really good fight for Lomachenko anyway. As for Nakatani, this was an absolute nightmare. So I hope he can bounce back from this and have a good next fight. Um, who do you think Nakatani will face next?
It's a tough one. I
Yeah,
don't think he's in that. I don't think he's in that conversation with the best lightweights right now.
yeah,
But
yeah.
overall, Nakatani, it's really tough because the way I see Nakatani, I mean, he's with Top Rank Boxing, but when you really look at it, hang on, I'm gonna look up lightweight fighters real quick because as far as the ones that come to my mind are the best, and as for Nakatani, like he could fight. He's part of Top Rank Boxing, and when you look at Top Rank Boxing, Nate, they don't necessarily go out of their promotion. Like Bob Arum likes to keep a lot of fighters in that promotion. I look at it and guys like Richard Comey could be a good fight for Nakatani. Um, Again, and it's really tough. It is because he's not part. Because in my opinion, no bash on him, but it's true. He's not part of that top class. But overall, Richard Comey would be a good fight to see. Richard Comey is a very very good fighter. He, again, another guy who's not part of that top tier lightweight class, and that could be a good bounce back fight for Nakatani if he wins. Overall, Nate, he could go out of the damn division and he could fight like Jorge Linares, Luke Campbell, but with Bob Arum, I don't see that happening. Bob Arum loves to work within Top Rank Boxing, unless you have like a huge fight where you can't deny it, like Deontay Wilder versus Fury. You can't deny that, or Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. That was what was going to happen until Tyson Fury was notified that he had to use his mandatory defense to fight Deontay Wilder. But those are the fights he can't take out of top. Those are the fights that he can't refuse. Stuff like this, Nakatani should fight. I feel like Richard Comey should be the next fight to make. He had a great fight against Felix Verdejo. That was a very, very good fight. It was a back and forth fight, but we all know what happened with Felix Verdejo. We don't like to talk about exactly what went on with him, so that's not going to happen again. But overall, Nate, I think Richard Comey is probably next, to be honest with you.
Right, right. So whatever happens with Nakatani moving forward, and I do wish him the best of luck, and it's back to the drawing board. Same thing with Lomachenko. I wish him the best of luck and congratulations to him as well on his win, on his dominant win rather. And we'll see where it takes both fighters from here on out.